YouTube, we are going to be watching the Henryville, the real-time Henryville, Indiana tornado. I love the real-time videos. You get to hear from the meteorologists, the victims. You guys already know. I love the real-time footage. It really brings it in. Henryville, Indiana. Before we start, I do have a second YouTube channel where I cover history and government conspiracies and all that fun stuff. It will be in the description below if you'd like to check it out, subscribe, and all that good jazz. And yeah, but anyways, Henryville, Indiana. Let's watch it.
People in Henryville, make your plans now. You have only minutes to find your tornado safe place, get there, and let this storm pass over you. So we can't stress enough that this is just the beginning of what's to come.
There it is. Take over the hill.
Once I seen it in person,
Go, get out, get out.
I was terrified for my life.
Go, go, go.
I would have been too, bro.
Strong tornado going so close to that house.
I knew this tornado was going to kill people.
I prayed we would be spared.
Oh, look at it picking stuff up.
It's like it was just looking at us
It's picking up.
and decided to turn.
It's coming here.
The hail felt like it was forever.
I remember being afraid that this might be it.
Look at that debris.
Everybody get to the middle of the map.
Henryville, Indiana. See, this is why I love the real-time ones, man. Once again, as you see there, you're hearing directly from the people. You're seeing footage that they took. It really brings it in, man, because they get to describe it. You get to, well, not exactly be there, but from that footage, you understand exactly what's going on in real time.
This is crazy.
I have never seen one. I finally get to see one.
You don't want to see this
Maybe
one.
the last one I see.
That's true.
Boy, that's a statement. Oh, golly.
On March 2nd, 2012, it was basically a typical day. Didn't think much about the weather that day. Didn't seem any different than any other day.
It was just an ordinary day. The weather, as I recall, was pretty fair.
It didn't look like a storm of any kind, but I was listening to the radio and they were warning us that storms were coming. So it was very important that we be aware of what goes on.
A tornado warning just about to come out for Du Bois County. You can see we're under the high risk of severe weather, cloudy downtown with a few peaks of sun. Our focus is back out to the west of us.
I'm the Wave 3 News chief meteorologist. And just after noon, we started to see those storms about 120 miles to our west. So once we went on the air, we never went off because of the ominous nature of that storm. And we were well aware that the Weather Channel was going to be somewhere around the region.
Hey guys, our satellite dish is down. Crew is under cover and getting there at the moment. You can see why. Ominous conditions coming our way here
Looking rough.
in Louisville, Kentucky. We knew there would be thunderstorms that would develop off to our west, and they would propagate over us, and then we would be able to move on from there. So it was a really good position to start in Louisville.
I came home around noon and my husband was watching the news.
This is not something to drive into as it crosses over Clark County and eventually.
We were hearing that there could be tornadoes and that it was going to get bad. Wayne was very, very concerned about it. I told him, oh, they always have that. Don't worry about it. And so we started watching for it.
Always take your warnings seriously. And your watches. Take them seriously.
We had all the children scheduled to be in the gymnasium shortly after the start of the day to have a play. But we kind of kept an eye on the weather throughout the day.
About 2:25, I received a phone call warning us that storms were coming in our direction. Those started the wheels turning of what we do next. Do we evacuate? Do we get all the kids in the safe areas that we could get to?
Troy and I talked to each other and we said, let's go, let's send them home.
They actually came over the intercom and said we were going to dismiss the kids now. And at that point, I was kind of like, what is going on? But once we had the kids loaded, the tornado sirens actually went off in town. My two daughters were in school that day, and when they came in my room, they're like, Dad, what do you want us to do? And I said, just go away from here as far as you can. Just, head away from the storm.
You need to find your tornado safe place. Reports of funnel clouds have been coming out along I-64.
This is a high-risk day, first high risk of 2012, so we should be closing in on it shortly.
We're both from Michigan, but we came to southern Indiana because we saw an exceptional setup for chasing storms.
We should be seeing something over there pretty soon, a wall cloud and who knows what else.
As we approach
chasing from Michigan. I heard that Michigan's got hit with some tornadoes. How bad are the tornadoes in Michigan? Is it rough? Like I said, I've heard of like maybe one or two bad ones. But anybody, Michigan, live in Michigan, around Michigan, or maybe you just have vast knowledge. How are the tornadoes in Michigan?
Louisville, we turned north on 135, and we saw the funnel for the first time.
That right there is, there's a funnel. There's a tornado right there, Bill. See it?
Oh, yeah. There it is.
There it goes. Oh, yeah. Yeah. There's a tornado.
That green truck went moving.
Now, look at that.
As soon as we saw that funnel, I knew this tornado had potential to kill people because it was going to be big, violent, and it was going to have a fairly long track.
We have a tornado on the ground. It's moving northeast at what speed, Andy?
Looks like 55 miles per hour is what they're reporting on the movement.
We had the news people waiting to respond to anything that may have happened, and we had our weather team devoted to getting real-time information out.
Put as many walls as you possibly can in between you and the outside environment.
I was the morning meteorologist, but my grandparents lived a little north of Henryville. I was tracking these storms, I was keeping everybody safe, but in the back of my mind I thought, I want to make sure my Mimi and Pop-Up are okay.
Fire department?
Work on an ambulance here in Clark County. Yeah, I was off work that day. Of course, I'd heard the reports of the tornado coming in, and when I found out that there's one that actually touched down, I thought, well, it might actually be serious. So I went to the firehouse to help.
It's a strong tornado, looks like. Formed fast. There it goes.
Tornado in front of us. There it goes.
Yep.
This tornado was a race car. It was a rocket ship. This was one of the fastest ones I've ever seen.
Oh, boy.
Oh, boy.
Holy smokes.
Watch how fast that thing is.
Yeah.
Wow, big tornado.
Strong tornado.
This is forested territory. The road winds, it's hilly, and just the drama of how that tornado evolved and changed shape made it visually very unique.
Wow. Look.
Wow. That's one of the best looking, I hate to say that. That's one of the best looking tornadoes. That's a good looking, it's very photogenic. It's crazy, dude.
At that sucker.
Wow.
Going so close to that house. Holy smokes.
It's frightening. It's a helpless feeling because once Mother Nature decides this is where this tornado is going, there is nothing you can do but be a spectator.
We are close. Debris.
That thing is going so fast, I can't. We could see it getting bigger and bigger. And
I'm surprised the Indiana State Patrol didn't write it a ticket.
Wider and wider. And by the time it crossed the road in front of us, we could tell that it was going to do serious damage.
Look at that thing go. Wow.
It's already over this road.
Yep.
Whenever a tornado intensifies that quickly, you know you have a serious situation on your hand. Some people may not be alive in 20 minutes.
I just spoke to someone on the phone. They're in their basement. They have lost power, and it sounds like a train is on top of their house. Their house is shaking.
I was watching the news and clouds just started getting really dark, and my parents was like, go outside and just start, checking out the storm.
Here comes the wind. I can hear it coming.
This looks bad right there.
Who, coaches?
If I get out, go home.
This is it.
I just really still didn't believe that it was
Get in the
actually
basement.
coming over that hill. And it's terrifying that, you know, you can't see it and you don't even know it's really even coming.
It's there right here coming over the hill.
Get in the basement. We're in the house.
I was perfectly fine until I seen it come over the hill. That's when I really panicked.
Oh, no! Get back! There it is. Get over the hill.
My mom is yelling, my dad's yelling, and I just really couldn't think straight at all.
Mom, do we need to jump in the car?
That thing's turned into a monster.
I didn't really know what was going to happen. Once I seen it in person live, that's when I knew I was looking at death.
I just spoke to someone on the phone. They're in their basement, and it sounds like a train is on top of their house. Their house is shaking.
2012, dude.
I don't have no basement or storm shelter or nothing. My mom was trying to actually hide underneath the foundation of the home, and once I seen the tornado, I just grabbed her from underneath and just hopped in the car.
Dude.
First thing I was thinking was just get my parents and get out of there.
Back up, back up, back up. Hey, Thomas.
Let's get mild in that car, dude.
I was definitely terrified for my life.
Man, it's tearing up those trees.
Once it got by us, we knew our chase was done because there was no way we were going to keep up with this tornado.
Damn it, right here.
And we knew we couldn't go any farther because we were blocked off by debris.
Look at the debris right here.
Yeah.
Frost right here.
It sure did. Yeah. Oh. At that point, I filed a spotter network report just to make sure that we had also added to the warnings that were going out.
Whoa, power lines down right there.
House okay? Looks okay.
Came right
Some ring shingles ripped off.
We can't go any farther.
No, that's it.
Then all those feelings of
Wow,
knowing
look at those
people are in
trees,
its
man.
path, knowing the potential loss of life, it hit you even then.
This is a wicked tornado on the ground, taking you over into Clark County.
Actually got everyone back into 3 little office areas and about 35 people in probably 300 square feet.
For some reason, I felt like I had to be where the principal was, almost like a kid. And I had a friend on each side of me. And I started praying.
This storm now is going to take us very close to the Clark State Forest in Henryville.
I am a visual marketer, and I live right across the street from the state forest. And I had some friends over that day. They were spending the night, so it was a little hectic.
At first, I thought that was thunder, but then it was like, no, that's not going away. That's just rolling.
We were out the back door trying to get a glimpse of the tornado. Heard the tornado noise probably 5 minutes before it actually hit, and that noise just got louder. I thought at the moment I was going to lose it all.
This is crazy.
Dude, that roar is crazy.
Listen to it.
We saw it come over the horizon. I was very excited seeing it. They really show so much strength.
Coming right toward Henryville.
I know, it won't move.
It's coming here.
I'm hoping it
It's
goes,
picking up.
I know.
It's picking stuff up. Look, you can see it rotate.
I'm hoping it goes to the north of us. It looks like it's heading right toward us.
We just kept watching it. Wayne was very concerned about it. I still wasn't that much. I just didn't think it was going to hit us.
While I was at the firehouse, I actually saw the tornado crossing the interstate.
Hey, that's the first time I've ever seen one. I believe the last one.
And it was going parallel to the station, and we didn't know if it was going to turn back towards us or what it was going to do, and then it ended up coming into town, heading towards the school. And that was where my nephews both were.
People in Henryville, make your plans now. You have only minutes to find your tornado safe place.
You look up in the sky, and there's this monster wedge tornado, almost a half mile to a mile wide, traveling on the ground toward Henryville. On March 2nd, usually people are thinking about snow, not violent tornadoes.
This tornado came at a horrible time. School was letting out, people were coming home, and turning on the television, seeing that it's heading right for your kid's school, I couldn't help but think what those parents must have been going through.
Tornado on the ground. Quiet. Everybody get tornado on the back. And you got a book to put on your head, do it. There's a tornado right there, guys. Look, the tunnel cloud. Anybody needs to call their parents, we're going back to the school. Is that okay?
Wait, they went back to the school?
As I looked out front, I hollered, hey, there's a school bus of kids just pulled up.
Everybody stay together. All our group together right now. Go, 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 go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Come on. Come on, 10, 11, go. Go, go.
So we hurried up, got the kids inside. And as they were coming in, I ran out of the back of the offices, ran down through the hallways, and when I looked on the wall across from me, I could see papers moving, and there were no doors, no windows open, which was a sign that it was real close and pressures were changing. And at that point, I knew that I was stuck where I was at.
Oh, dude, it's so eerie.
Everyone was laying on the floor, and I remember looking over at one of my teachers, both agreeing that this was it. We're either going to be here when this is over, or I'm going to get to go to heaven.
I'd kept my head covered and just prayed the whole time.
Now, I don't understand the full story here with the school bus going back to the school whenever they had eyes on the tornado. Like, was that like a panic type deal to where, just where, you got all these kids that are your responsibility. There's a massive tornado and you're just trying to think of a way to get them to safety. I mean, was the tornado headed towards the bus? I have so many questions there. I just got too many questions, not enough answers. So I'm going to assume here, like, obviously, she's worried about the kids, right? She wants to get them to safety. So, kudos to the bus driver. I am wondering, though, had it been best not go back to school? You have eyes on it. Is it coming towards you? I'm just speculating here. I'll shut up.
That we would be spared.
I had no room to get into, nothing to get under, nothing to hide by. I'm just in an open hallway. I can hear rooftop units and all kind of debris and stuff rolling across the roof, and my thought was, please God, don't let anything come through this ceiling on top of me.
People in Henryville, make your plans now. You have only minutes to find your tornado safe place.
I can hear rooftop units and all kind of debris and stuff rolling across the roof, and my thought was, please God, don't let anything come through this ceiling on top of me. The pressure became so great that my eardrums felt like they were going to explode. It was tremendous pain.
Oh, that bus there's getting turned, dude.
At approximately 3:15, the tornado hit. And when it hits, you feel
I've seen some of this footage from before.
The vibration and the shake.
It was like an earthquake and a tornado together. The whole building just shook.
There was devastation all around me. Things in the hallways torn out, doors blowing open. The gymnasium, which was just probably 50 yards from me, the roof fell in.
What seemed like an eternity was actually about 1 minute of total destruction. That was basically the school building literally being ripped from around us and taken away to who knows where.
Where'd that bus go?
It was very scary. And as things were falling in and crashing around me, I wasn't for sure what the outcome was.
It's a huge one.
Wow.
It's coming here. It's picking up. Oh, look at it picking stuff up. Well, we need to close this window. I'm sorry, I'm going to have to close the window.
They kept saying on the TV it was going to go northwest.
Yeah, gotta close that window.
And when it got right on the other side of a field in front of our home, it's like it stalled, like it was just looking at us and decided to turn, and then it came straight towards us.
Oh, see, look at that debris going up in the air. It's going to hit us directly.
Listen to it.
I want to get off fast and be there.
I know.
Wayne said, I love you, and I told him I loved him, and gave each other a kiss, and we were hugging each other. And then all of a sudden, we both at the same time said, my ears are popping.
Dude, I am sorry, guys. I know getting in a vehicle is not the best option. I understand that. But it feels like these people here have watched this thing come right at them for a long period of time. They may not have a vehicle, right? I'm just I'm just telling you what I would do. What I would do. I'm no expert, right? Don't listen to me. This is my own personal opinion. Okay? Beat that into your. I'm no expert by any stretch. If you have a basement or, storm shelter, do that. If not, if I can look out there and that, for a long period of time, I can watch this tornado just slowly keep coming at me and at me and at me, I am getting in a car. And I am leaving. I'm going to haul absolute booty out of there. I mean, be traveling fast. I'll take that speeding ticket. Where are your seatbelts? But I'm getting out of there. Ain't no way. If I don't have something like a shelter or basement to get in, and I can see it from a long distance away, and I have time, getting in my car and getting the heck out of there.
We started getting dispatched out. I went ahead and jumped on one of the brush trucks with Monroe Fire and rode out with them. Somebody had called in that there was somebody on the side of the interstate. We didn't know what kind of injuries or anything it was. We could see some of the damage from the school. That was where my nephews both were. It was almost like I couldn't process it all.
Me and my dad and my brother went out and headed down the road to see who we could help.
Oh, wow. Well, Dad, I come on in and we've got people trying to get out of vehicles.
But as we drove down, we started to see things like sheet metal, debris. There were different road signs bent heavily in the direction that the tornado had moved. There was some commercial trucks in a parking lot, and all of those were knocked over.
Oh, wow. A school bus.
We got to the end of the road, and it was almost unrecognizable.
Wow.
There's not a lot of deaths in this.
And from the view we had, you could only see a portion of the school, and it looked like that it was completely leveled.
The boys and I are sitting here in what used to be downtown Henryville. It's gone. I'm looking at the school, and it is rubble.
Oh, God. That's a school?
My dad got a call through, and They were saying, "You guys are okay?" And we're like, yeah, we're okay. We're in town right now. And she said, "Do you know that there's another tornado coming?" And we're like, "No."
Let me take you back to the second storm that we're watching. That was moving across southern portions of Du Bois County. Folks think the storm is past. Trees are down, power lines are down, and then all of a sudden another storm swings in on the backside that's large enough to kill you.
We got a funnel cloud developing now. This is the second supercell.
The sirens are wiped out. You can't hear anything. You don't even know it's coming. The communication's gone. You're wondering what the heck just happened to you, and here comes this second tornado literally within 15 minutes.
The day is not done. We still have
pure evil, dude. Pure evil. You just endured that, and now a second one's fixing to come through.
Have a lot more storms that are still life-threatening, so we can't stress enough that this is just the beginning of what's to come. The day is not done. We still have a lot more storms that are still life-threatening. So we can't stress enough that this is just the beginning of what's to come.
What's that? Wait a minute. Was that the bus?
Just the beginning of what's to come.
Sorry, I gotta go back to that. I want to see. That's a bus, right? Is that, yeah, it's all seats. The emergency exit out the back. Is it in the school?
Once things kind of quieten it down, I stand up, I kind of look around, make sure everything's okay, and then I slowly move down the hallway, and once I figure out that things are kind of over, then I take off running up front to try to get up with everybody else and not be down there by myself.
In the room, all the power was out, but there was some light. And everyone in the room was covered with a white dust. It was very surreal. The majority of the ceiling tiles had either fallen or been taken up. And then looking over, 2 students had bloody noses. So, I was asking everybody in the room, "Are you okay? Check here." And then went to the other 2 rooms to check on everyone else in the office area.
And one of the teachers went to the end of the office area and looked out the door, and he shut the door and he said, "It's bad." That was probably the most afraid I was, because I thought we were stuck.
My assistant principal and I went out and gathered about 6 more staff members that were safely in rooms underneath desks. We stayed in the office area as we didn't know what was going to happen.
And I saw light, so I headed toward the light, and it was our cafeteria. As I start back across the cafeteria, the siren went off again.
One of the custodians and myself were trying to shut water valves off, and we're coming out of one of the mechanic rooms, and I said, "Paul, we got to go. There's another one coming." He said, "Are you sure?" And I said, "Yes, I'm sure."
It was the little unsettling, because I thought, oh, this is over, and it wasn't over.
It took us a few minutes to weave in and out of everything and get up there. We got out and saw her laying there, and she was laying on her back on the side. She'd been pulled out of her car. She'd been thrown by the tornado. I'm honestly fearing the worst. But before we can even get a full assessment and get her onto the backboard, we start getting hit by the hail. I didn't know what we'd be able to do.
Kevin just got word saying there's numerous rescue crews being dispatched to the Henryville area.
And we understand that Henryville is taking a second hit.
We had one tornado come through. You get a calm for a second.
I recall Henryville, Indiana getting hit with a tornado. Like I said, I've seen a little bit of footage of it. but I don't remember the second tornado part. That is either I didn't know that or it's just slipped my mind.
I think you're okay, and then another supercell follows it, and just in a matter of moments they started to deal with gigantic hail. That in itself is rare, but from a human standpoint, that's terrifying to know my family just survived the first one, now we have to do it all over again.
Oh, wow. We got no stay with you. Keep away from the window. Just lean into the middle.
We immediately tried to make our way back home because, looking around, there really wasn't a place for us to safely avoid the storm.
Good grief.
But the hail started to fall. And after a few seconds, when I realized, we're in the tornado, I was afraid for my life. One hit the windshield and it cracked. A couple seconds later, it was just raining hail.
Oh, it's coming through the ends of the car, dude.
So it was almost impossible to see out of the front windshield. I remember being afraid that this might be it.
The hail, it felt like it was forever. And they were bigger than softballs. And we just kept right on working, trying to roll her onto the backboard. When the hail got to the point that it was hurting, the other firefighter, she found a door for a semi-trailer, and we all held it up. And Erica could have stayed in the truck for protection, but she came straight back to help us. And I was worried about my two nephews in school and really just the whole town.
Wow.
I knew that we needed to focus on her and what she needed as opposed to thinking about everything else.
What a man.
Getting a lot of reports trying to confirm the K-12 school in Henryville. Apparently there's students in the school. I'm trying to confirm that.
Imagine sitting at home as a parent and having someone tell you your children stuck inside of a school and there's a tornado heading right for them. That's something, as a meteorologist and as a journalist, you better believe we have to confirm that before releasing that information. And we needed someone to figure out right then and there if there were children still stuck inside that school.
This poor school got hit twice, man.
The second wave hit and took out the entire front of the building and pretty much everything right up into where we were at. There was one wall between us and the debris.
I was in the restroom when the giant hail and the second tornado came through.
Dude, look at the size of that hail. That looks like baseball, softball size hail.
And it just seemed like, is this really happening?
The second tornado tore the second gymnasium roof off and the wall.
Oh my God.
All off, and both sides of where we were was
hitting the gym floor and shooting contact with the elementary, making sure that everybody was safe on their side.
I remember calling Troy and I said, "You guys all right?" He said, yeah, I think so. And, I said, "Well, I smell gas." I said, "We got to get out of here."
The tornado hit our house, but it wasn't bad. We had a lot of damage, but nothing compared to other people's where their house got leveled. I mean, my house was fine. The second it passed, a buddy of mine, I told him, I said, "Mike, come on, we got to go help people." And then when I started running down the road, I kept hearing something. It almost sounded like a baby crying or like a cat meowing or something like that. So I ran to my neighbor's house and looked to my left and seen Lenora. and all you could see was her head sticking out from underneath the debris. So we go over and we get the wall shoved off of her, and she's sitting there and blood just streaming all down her face. And I was like, we got to get her to the house. She's going to die. But then she asked me, she's like, where's my husband? Where's Wayne? So we start looking, and I see 2 feet sticking out from underneath the refrigerator. All I could think was, I can't believe this.
Oh, wow.
Lenora, she asked me, where's my husband? Where's Wayne? So we start looking, and I see 2 feet sticking out from underneath the refrigerator.
Since my husband wasn't yelling for me or anything, I just kind of knew he wasn't around. And they found him, probably 5 foot from me. And my life was shattered. And that was the worst.
R.I.P., man. Look, I'm just saying, ain't no way I would have stayed in that house. They watched that thing come right at them, dude. Whew.
She's crying and blood just streaming all down her face, and I just kept telling my buddy, Mike, she's going to die. She's going to bleed to death. So we got her put up in the truck and got her into the ambulance.
And if it wasn't for that, I don't know if I would have made it or not. I always consider that those 2 saved my life.
I mean, I was just
What's
doing
his name?
what I think any good neighbor would do.
Oh, yo. I can't remember the W neighbor. After all that, man, just getting out there and helping people, dude. It seems like after, these severe weather outbreaks and stuff like that, these people, neighbors and the community really comes together.
At that point, I think I was going on adrenaline because I was afraid another one was going to come because the siren went off again.
Oh, my God.
Most of us were carrying children at that point through what looked like a war zone. There were cars, pieces of metal, out to the highway, and then when we went down to the community center, it was still intact.
We had several kids still in the school when the tornado hit, so we knew that we had a lot of parents really concerned for their kids. But there was no way to get any information out to anybody. I couldn't call my daughters or any of my family. The tornado actually knocked out one of the cell towers. So I think everybody was kind of numb and didn't know what to do at that point.
We put the kids in the basement because we heard that there might be another tornado coming our direction.
Not a third one, right?
Finally, the hail let up, and as soon as it did, we got her on the backboard and we slid her into the back seat, and I jumped into the back. Her eyes and her face were covered with broken glass and debris, and she wanted to know if I could brush it out of her eyes, and there was so much I was scared that if I did, I would hurt her. So I told her just keep her eyes closed, and I was going to stay right with her until we get to the firehouse. We arrived back, and there was a triage, so we dropped the patient off. We were only there a few minutes, and I found out that there had been one casualty, and that was Wayne Hunter. He worked at a hospital as an RN for a long time. He was an awesome guy. There's an ambulance, and they were going out to get Wayne, so I rode out with them.
What told me this was an awful situation was the look on people's faces. I mean,
why's the audio off here?
They were literally walking out of town like they were zombies. They did not know what hit them here. Their house is blown away. They've got a few blankets, a few pictures, but the look on their face, I'll never forget. It was just like, what just happened to me? We've got emergency vehicles that are trying to get to people that have been injured. There was a huge factory building destroyed. asphalt ripped up from the road. But the closer we got to the Henryville Middle...
Dude, RIP, but asphalt ripped up from the... What did this tornado get a rating of? You only see stuff like that with Hackleburg, Smithville. Oh, my God.
In high school, the worse the damage got.
Look at the school bus there on that picture. I mean, this is just a horrific scene coming out of Henryville, Indiana. That's unbelievable when you look at what's standing and what's not just around there. That town has been hit very hard.
Dang, man.
Got out of my sight. I got a lot of relief. You know, I was safe and I was okay. My home, you know, was fine, but there was another house that was in the path of it. It just leveled it out. There was nothing there. There was actually a family inside of that home thinking that they were okay, and it just took them right out. I think they found their bodies about a quarter mile away.
Complete destruction across portions of Clark County. Look at the day.
As people's lives just scattered. And it probably only took under a minute. That's so sad, dude.
Damage that has been caused across our area. It's no wonder that we've had not only injuries but fatalities. The only safe place to be with a monster storm like this would have been underground.
Flipped an 18-wheeler? Woo!
By the time we reached the house...
Or is that a bus?
The hail had stopped, and we were pretty much unharmed. But there were people out in the street, the fragments of buildings, there were people inside, looking around. And I can remember a couple people, they were inside the house. And the house just, it was just a frame standing there. And just seeing the expressions they had on their faces, it was a very sad thing.
Once the storm had passed and the threat of severe weather had ended, I went to Henryville. It was completely dark. There was no power. There were trees down. There were people in the street. And there are chainsaws that are going because people are trying to free up their cars. It was a very chaotic scene. When I reported in front of the high school. It is a sad scene that's unfolding here in Clark County. Over my shoulder, you see the high school, the middle school not far behind. Literally a destructive sight. To stand in front of this demolished school, knowing that kids might still be inside, that made it hard to go on. The work continues tonight. Search and rescue crews will make sure that the folks that have not been accounted for are, as the night goes on and into the day tomorrow. You can imagine that difficult task. The work continues tonight. Search and rescue crews will make sure that the folks that have not been accounted for are, and just within minutes, the students were released from that building as it collapsed earlier today with that massive tornado right here in Henryville.
Is everyone inside the school okay?
Everybody was fine in that school, and nobody was injured at all, which is just amazing when you think about it. They knew exactly what to do. They knew exactly where to go.
I waited until the very last student was connected with that parent, and watching the parents become relieved knowing that their kids were safe, and just seeing that joy, that hug, that they had survived, that was real important to me.
My daughters made it to town just north of Henryville. They made it back, and at that point, we were able to unite and hug, and they knew I was okay, and I knew they were okay. I guess that's when it really hits you. How fortunate you are that you made it through something like that, and that you can hug your family and see them again.
First light here in Henryville in Indiana, and you can see folks combing through what's left of their homes. I mean, just complete and utter destruction in through here. It's definitely one of the worst storms I've ever seen. And it's the closest I've been to the storm damage shortly after the tornado occurred. You can tell that something really bad went through there. I mean, there's nothing standing.
Dang, man.
For as far as the
people's lives, dude, just scattered everywhere.
I can see.
My grandparents were okay, but some of the neighborhoods are right off the main road in Henryville. They were demolished. And the diner that was a focal point in Henryville, one of the school buses went right through it. It was just unexplainable.
Wow. Just send the school bus straight through the diner.
My son took my wife and I up in a small plane to fly the path of the tornado. That was another whole shock to see what took place that we were in, and the devastation just catastrophic.
The most vivid memory was going back to the area where we were at. I even sat in the chair that I was in that day before, just because I wanted to make sure that it was my chair.
I want to bring in Troy Albert, who is the principal of the junior high school. Kids were just dismissed, weren't they, before this tornado?
We dismissed 10 minutes earlier than normal. Got the kids on the buses, they got the kids in the cars home. And then
our principal, Troy Albert, and Dr. Glenn Riggs made decisions for Henryville schools that saved several kids' lives.
The thinking was, we're a lot safer spread out than we are all together, and I don't think we would have gotten all the children into a safe place before it got hit. And there's no question it would have been tragic.
There were places in that building that were literally just gone. They did the right thing, sending them on the bus. I tell you that. That was the move.
A good call in that situation, man. They saved some kids' lives for sure.
Move to make.
Wayne had actually protected Lenora. They went into a central closet in the house, and he held her, and that was what saved her life.
Well, when it's your time, it's your time. And it was his time. And not mine, for some reason. I just hope everybody remembers to hold on to life, to hold on to each other. Show that you love.
EF4, $100 million of damage, and 11
Once something of that
fatalities.
magnitude happens, the question is, where do you start? How do you even begin? And thankfully, there were a number of volunteers and organizations and relief groups that knew where to begin.
There was just support from everywhere. I mean, for weeks. If you needed something, it was there. It was just overwhelming.
It was amazing to see all the people that showed up that just cared. They just wanted to help in any way that they possibly could. And without them, we wouldn't have been back on our feet.
The rebuilding process just was somewhat miraculous in terms of what was done with the school.
It was impressive to see the rubble of the high school behind you one day and later it being completely rebuilt.
It looks exactly like it did before the tornado.
If there's any good that comes out of a disaster like that, it does give a town like Henryville a chance to start over. There's new buses, there's new homes, businesses that are sprouting up there. They accepted the hand that was dealt to them, and they came together as a community and moved on as best as they can.
Hornet Pride became kind of the theme because it was up on the sign outside the school, and it made us all stronger just knowing it was there.
The entire community grew.
All right, boys. That's it. That's all you get for $1. No, really good, dude. I love the real-time videos. They really bring it to life. You get to hear from the victims. And the communities that come together in a situation like this. That's amazing, dude. All these people are great. Big W. Principals made a good call. Got the kids out there just in time. Well, with the damage it done, I mean, if you'd have had loaded school, there would have been a lot of, that would have got bad, dude. That would have been real, real bad. So in that situation, it was a good call. Get the kids out of school a little early, get them out of the way. Wow. Wow. The Lenora and her husband situation, man, that's so sad. That's so sad. I mean, once again, had I seen it coming from that distance, boys, I'm getting in a car, I'm getting out of there. Especially if I can see it coming right at me and I have that kind of time, I'm getting out of there. Holy. Wow. Once again, this is why I love the real-time tornado videos, dude. Alright, guys. I am Cheap. Thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed the video, like, subscribe, all that good jazz. We'll catch you in the next one.